Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crypton Research. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be starting a new segment here on Crypton Research. And today, specifically, we're going to be doing some technical analysis on the latest Bitcoin crash, the latest stock market crash, and also be talking about the upcoming SEC regulations that may or may not be placed on cryptocurrency markets, as well as how the futures market is impacting Bitcoin. And we're gonna dive into some reasons why the Bitcoin market has gone down so much. But first off, we're gonna get started with some technical analysis, and I just want to show you guys some things that I'm looking at. And
Oh,
I've
before
been in
we
this
do
industry.
that, we want to remind you this is not financial advice, and anything that you guys see here shouldn't be taken as financial advice. Make sure to do your own research. All right, now you can go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I was gonna get to that, but yeah. So I'm gonna I want to talk to you guys about what I see on the charts. And let's go ahead and get right into it. But before we dig into this, if you guys like what we're doing here, please like and subscribe and to this channel and this video. Thank you very much for all your support. But let's get right into it. So, I just want to first start off by going over Bitcoin's behavior from one second. Let me remove this from around the end of 2017, and this is around the end of November, or November is when it started. But basically, Bitcoin was at 5.5k, around the 5k mark, and it had just had a parabolic rise, a huge rise to excuse me, 10k, and then 10k to 15k, and 15k topped out at just about a little shy of 20k. But this happened in a span of 1 month, which is just crazy. And when markets go up like this in a huge and it with such high velocity, you better expect. I mean, if you expect that this is going to happen forever, then I mean, I don't know.
And you're in the wrong place.
Exactly. Then you're in the wrong place, and dream on, buddy. Then you're going to be buying the top here. That's the type of person you are. Excuse me. I have a little bit of a cough, so bear with me. But that's just one thing I want to get into. And you guys shouldn't expect that whatever retracement we have from this huge parabolic move in 1 month, it's natural in the markets. You don't want to see anything go straight up. You don't want to see Bitcoin go to freaking whatever it was, 2K, 1,500 to $100,000. Like,
Right.
no, please. That's just not healthy long term.
Yeah, because the sharper it rises up, the harder it'll fall if it keeps on doing that.
Exactly. And one thing I've learned on Bitcoin is that I don't use vertical trend lines anymore. So generally, when people draw trend lines, what they do is they use a line. So they connect 2 points via line, and they trade it like that. This is used in almost every single market, but in the Bitcoin market, we're looking at things going up in an exponential rate most of the time. Although in the stock market, things can go up at an exponential rate. It usually doesn't happen even on the main stocks. If you're looking at the things that actually move the markets, they go up in on a steady slope. Bitcoin is rather different, and here are just some lines that I've drawn here. It's these are curved lines, and these are connecting very important points on the chart. And this was I'm going to highlight this in bright green. If you guys can see that. Nope, you guys can't see that. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this bright green line. So this was a bullish trend on Bitcoin. And if we were to hold this, Bitcoin would be in a bullish market. And as you can see here, once we broke down from this 11K level and failed to break back up to 13K, you can see this really nasty price action. We had this area over here, previous support, now became resistance. And ever since there, we went on a bear market. And Excuse me. And these are just, I did the same exact thing with this green line with these black lines and just outlining the current channel Bitcoin's in. And it's been holding it very nicely. So right now, what these red lines represent is whenever you're in any sort of market, whenever you break a certain support area or I'm sorry, resistance area like we have right here, right? What you're going to do is you're always going to come back and retouch it, as you can clearly see here. Another example of that would be here, where we were supposed to see some sort of retouch, but we never got that. We had this big breakup, and then we had this, wick down here, but we never had a proper retouch of this area. Another example of that, and what I'm just doing here is I'm just highlighting these areas where we never retested. So another area here is once we broke up, we never had a proper retest. So first example here, when we came back down in this area, we saw instant rejection. Everyone was thinking first the 8K level. 8K will hold. 8K has to hold.
It
We
broke right
spent
through.
2 days here on the weekend, and then we went right through. So, but that fact that we consolidated in this area, and when we retested this, that just means that there were buy orders there that were left from previous. Because when you break, you retest. Another example is this example where we're going to be approaching here soon, which is at $5,039. Actually, a little bit. It's at the 5,000 mark. Actually, exact price is 4,988. So,
Right. We could potentially retest that.
so when we exactly, so what this channel I have here, what I'm expecting is until we get a solid breakout and a retouch, expect still expect bearish movements.
What level do we need to retouch for it to get back?
So surely this 4,988 level.
Right. That's for the downside.
And
How about for the upside?
so
What?
for the upside, if you look here, we have this area. This is like a long-term target. So when we came up here, we just kind of broke down and shut the bed.
Right.
That's one area. If you look here, we broke and then we actually retouched that big downward candle. So this is a really bearish area at 12K.
Mm-hmm.
But the next area we're looking at is 16,800.
But right
But
now, basically, it would need to get over the 8,000 level that we once thought it would hold.
exactly. Right now we're looking at this channel right now. So
Correct.
if you see these two black lines that I have, what we'd like is we're not trying to, we're not jumping the gun. Just be patient on this. Scroll down into here, and as soon as these two points pinch at this 5K area, expect a significant reaction. And look down here in the volume. Make sure we get a fat ass bar that signifies that huge buying is coming in down there. Another thing that I want to highlight is the final thing is that if we whip out our Fibonacci retracement tool, ever since we went bullish, so back here we had some whatever price action, and here we had some consolidation prior to a very, very large breakout in Bitcoin. Basically, the 79 retracement is the key retracement level. Anything from the 69 to the 79 level is pretty big deal, and that lines up with this 5K level that we're looking at. So let me just extend this, but we're really looking for we would really need, or we would really want, a significant bounce from this area. And if that area doesn't work, then Bitcoin would ideally, the next area we'd want to see bounces at this 3,000 level. And if that doesn't work, the same principle of retest would be applicable to this level right here, where You have this area, you break out. We never came back and saw this 1,000 to 1,200 area ever. So if we come back down here, expect some crazy ass buyers. But we don't want it to go that low. We want Bitcoin to still be continuing on a upward, on a significantly upwards trend, and we really want to see that 5K level hold next.
Right,
So
because if it does break, we've seen some crazy bear markets where they last for years. So we don't want to be in that situation where we have a bear market for 1, 2, 3 years.
the next level, 5K, if we don't see many buyers there, and if we don't get any crazy sort of reaction there, we're going to see the 3K level. And then from 3K, we can go anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200. And there we'll see a frenzy of buyers. And we saw this huge up move in 1 month, and we came down very, very quickly. That just goes to show that there isn't any interest for Bitcoin to be at the 15K to 20K mark. People aren't really ready to buy it at that level. And, from here, from the technical analysis, we're going to go into just an open discussion about Bitcoin, current price action, why it's doing the thing it's doing, things about the futures contracts that just came out,
Right,
and
so
a plethora of other
when
things. But
Bitcoin hit like what 20,000, whatever, what was the next catalyst to take it to the next take it to the next leg higher? There
that would
really
be
wasn't anything on
lightning.
the horizon. And you know what they
Yeah, like
say,
there
elevator
probably
up, or yeah, staircases up, elevator down. That's exactly what happened with Bitcoin.
exactly there were. I mean, well, the thing is, when Bitcoin was at 20K, there was one thing that could save it. Let's just stop saying 20K. Let's just say 18K
Yeah,
because it never hit
18K.
20K. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
just
like
little
flashed
quirk.
up there.
But the 18K mark. Well, the only thing, well, when the futures came out, right? The next thing we needed to take Bitcoin higher, this was the only thing that could have taken Bitcoin higher, was Wall Street and new money flowing into the markets from Wall Street.
Right.
See, what we thought that we already got in before Wall Street, and that futures were one of the only ways that Wall Street would be able to get into Bitcoin. But we were very, very false, and Wall Street was already in a long time ago, if they had any interest. And if you look at the futures contracts, you can go into the numbers, but yeah, go ahead and talk about the futures
Yeah,
contracts and actually
let's
what
get
the
into those
reality
numbers,
was.
right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about these Bitcoin futures contracts. So right now, I'm looking at the CME and CBOE futures. So the CBOE futures have around 19,000 in volume currently, and each contract is 1 Bitcoin. And the CME is one contract is 5 Bitcoins. So let's take a look. So this is the volume, right when the future started to trade. And then you see that it's getting around like 7,000, 5,000, 10,000 volume on the CBOEs. So as I stated before, the CBOEs, it's 1 Bitcoin each. So that's 20,000 Bitcoin. That's really not that much. So let's do 20,000, let's say, times, I don't know, $8,000 Bitcoin. That's only $160 million compared to the whole cryptocurrency market cap, which is currently around $334 billion. And we're talking, they're trading in the millions for the futures contract. So it's really not that significant. It's not as
Not even
much as we thought it
1%.
would be. Yeah, it's
1% of
really
the
not a
Bitcoin
big
market cap.
influence on it. So as I was saying, there isn't much volume in the Bitcoin CME futures or CBOE futures. Wall Street doesn't seem to have an interest. So that's why this SEC and the CFTC meeting is really important, because it'll give a guideline to the institutional investors on what they should do next. Because really, there's no
Yeah,
there's no certainty right now. So they're looking for that, because many of these institutional investors, they can't even get inside these Bitcoin futures or cryptocurrency trading because their firms just simply won't allow it, in their
Exactly.
policies. Like
Exactly.
it's like
Another
that.
example.
Like the stocks, if there are stocks under $5, many of these companies, these banks or hedge funds, they have policies that don't allow them to trade it. So similar to that, like there are bans on
If
cryptocurrency trading.
if you look at Kodak, which is a company who does they work in photos, right, cameras and that sort of stuff. They wanted to launch an ICO, and the stock went up huge on that, and it just got pumped basically on that news. But they also don't know the regulatory planes and the everything going on in the regulatory field, the playing field for regulations and all that stuff. So they even halted the ICO that they were going to do until they know exactly what's going to happen in terms of regulation. And once people are scared of the government, rightfully so. And once that fear isn't there, then these Wall Street investors and institutions, if they have interest in Bitcoin, can enter the market. And until then, they really weren't ready to pay 15K or 18K for Bitcoin.
Right.
5K is significantly less than that. It's 30% of 15K, even less than 18K.
But right now we're
25.
at 328 billion market cap, and there have been a lot of big institutional buyers, but much of this money is in retail. So retail investors can't drive price over $1-2 trillion. It's simply not going to happen without institutional support.
Exactly. And they're not ready to pay that big price. So 5K, 3K, 1K, 1.2K, the levels we highlighted on the technical areas, they have the same charts as we do. And regardless if it's a retest or just random news that comes out, random, whatever the hell comes out, the technical levels will prove themselves. And they're looking at the same exact things we are. So we just got to look and be patient on these levels.
Right. So this is why this SEC meeting is so important. It's going to give us our path forward, whether it's good or bad, but it'll give us some guidelines. Hopefully, that's the. So, do you want to talk a little bit about this market decline that just recently occurred?
So to put it simply, the markets kind of shut to bed, and they were down 5% in 2 days.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, no, 5. It was like 4 or 5% Monday, right, and then around 2-3% on Friday. So the Dow was basically declined around 10% from its highs.
So the
S&P
largest
similar,
decline in
and
2
then
days. On the
Japan
Dow.
as well, and Germany's not
Yeah,
doing too
so
hot.
basically a global equity
China,
sell-off.
right?
And interestingly enough, Bitcoin sold off prior to this, but both of these markets declined at a similar time.
Right.
Some would say they're correlated, but why would they be correlated? It's not just because of people, random retail investors are pushing buttons and they saw that Bitcoin was going down. So, retail investors sold their Bitcoins, and then retail investors are like, oh snap, Dow's gone up a lot. Let me sell a crap ton of the Dow and take it down. No. People aren't the cause for this. It's algorithms. And
Yeah,
I'm
sell
sure
side programs, they hit it hard, really hard. You can't, flash the Dow down 800,000 points within, 10, 15, 20 minutes. No retail can do that. It's all algorithms. Same thing with Bitcoin. Like, this does not seem like a natural movement to the downside. It seriously looks like, there's a lot of sell side programs, algos within the system that are contributing to this downfall. It's just not like, oh, everyone's like, oh yeah, these retail investors, they're all weak hands. But it's not necessarily true that that's the case.
exactly. If you look at the gold market, as the Dow was going down so much, gold didn't even inch higher. It may have gone up a few dollars, a few points,
Right.
but now gold is back down from its highs. It reached about 1234, and now it's back down to 1225, that level. And if the market corrects, isn't gold supposed to go up? Isn't
Right.
safe
Safe haven
aren't safe
asset.
havens supposed to go up?
It's
Many
really
people
not a
think
safe
that
haven.
Bitcoin is a safe haven. Bitcoin is
Not a
I
safe
wouldn't
haven.
consider
It's not a
no,
storage of value.
not at all.
It's not a
Bitcoin is
currency.
exactly.
We
So
don't
what
know
is
what it is right
Bitcoin?
now. We really don't know what it is right now.
Exactly. What all Bitcoin is right now is a gateway for the rest of the cryptocurrency market.
Right.
And as people, you know, think, I mean, and what does that mean? It's gateway for decentralization. The gateway for the blockchain. And as the blockchain technology, it's not. It's, you can't just say it's it's cliche like it's gateway to cryptocurrencies. Like cryptocurrencies, there's a lot of shit coins, so it's really you can't just say it's gateway to shit coins. But that kind of is an aspect of it too. It's a gateway to the blockchain decentralization, and as decentralization, one thing I want to make sure is that the people who are on top, the people who run the system, people who are running all these corporations and businesses who need data, they don't want decentralization. They want to keep everything central
Yeah,
so
of
they
course.
control it. And there's a battle with Bitcoin and the real world.
Governments and whatnot. Yeah.
Exactly.
You think these
So if
elites want something decentralized, something that, takes their power away? You think elites want democracy and, power back to the
hell
people? They
no.
don't give a crap about that.
Nope, not at all. They don't want to see us get rich. They don't want to see us win, as my man DJ Khaled said.
So you see this S&P chart, right? Look how, furious this decline was. This was definitely, sell side programs. Same thing with Bitcoin. There have been a lot of sell side programs. I mean, look at this. You get a flash crash in Amazon down $100, just like that. Boom, and then it comes right back up. That's not because somebody just, put in one order and crashed the price of Amazon by $100. That's because of the algos. Algos go crazy. And you know what's funny about the hypocrisy of, the SEC? What is it? The inverse ETF for the volatility index for the VIX.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, it's
but
like
I don't
it
know
was like it
exactly
closed
what.
at like
Can you please explain it to
$99,
me?
and now it's not even open right now because it's basically at zero. So they say a Bitcoin
Wow,
ETF, it's too volatile, too dangerous for the U.S. consumer, but they won't approve a Bitcoin ETF.
that's crazy. And another thing is like if you look at these brokerages like TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, for example.
Right.
While the Dow crashed, their retail investors couldn't even log in to
Right.
trade.
I remember in August 2015, the algos were just going crazy. So every couple of minutes, you see the market go down 5, 6, 7. That was down 10% at one time, and the volatility index was through the roof. And you couldn't
Crazy
even log
accurate.
into your broker, your retail broker,
They
to
had-
sell your shares. And if you did call your retail broker, they would take a fee, for like $30 to sell your whatever investment. And if something did happen wrong and it was the retail broker's fault, they'd be like, tough luck. We'll give you some free trades and lower your commissions. That's about it. So you can't give, Coinbase anything for not being able to handle all the volatility when these companies like Fidelity and TD Ameritrade, they can't even do it. And they've been
Schmucks.
there for a long time. All right. And with that, we would like to conclude this video. We thank you for your time for watching this video. And hopefully you guys share, like, and subscribe to our channel.